Good afternoon. Welcome to Ocean League Baseball on a brilliant afternoon from Hawthorne, California. You're about to see the Hawthorne Cougars take on the Inglewood Sentinels, and we're getting set for pitch number one. This the first home game of the year. It's in there for a call strike. We'll get the defense and the batting orders for you as we go. Michael Della Torre on the mound for the Hawthorne Cougars. Battery mate Anthony Caro, and he's facing Jesus Chavez at the plate. With a count, no balls and one strike. We're just underway. And we'll get you the Inglewood lineup and the defense that's grounded toward third. Nice play made by Barba across the diamond, and there's one man away. The out goes 5-3. So if we take a look at the defense quickly for the Hawthorne Cougars, Kevin Boyle is at first base. Jaime Jimenez is at second. Eddie Arcenegia is at short. Ricky Barba at third, who made that play. Angel Lopez is in left field. Gil De Real is in center. Dewan Cato is in right. Catching Anthony Caro, and Michael Della Torre on the mound, opening up the Bay League season, rather the Ocean League season for the Hawthorne Cougars. He faces Javier Cabada, and the first pitch here is in there for a call strike, getting the first couple of pitches over. This is the first league game for both of these teams that play in the Ocean League. Second delivery, he tries to hold up, but went around a little too far. No balls and two strikes. And remaining on deck, Oscar Mercado. Here's Della Torre's 0-2 pitch on the way. Towards center field, and that's going to be into the glove of De Real for out number 2. So a little low liner caught in center field, quickly 2 away here in the top half of the first inning. And for the Inglewood Sentinels, that's going to bring up Oscar Mercado. He is the starting shortstop today. He has got good power, and he may be an all-league shortstop, according to their coach, as you see the Inglewood bench. Glad to have you with us on this first telecast. Look from center field. That's in there for a call strike. Oscar Mercado, mentioned he's a junior, possible all-league shortstop candidate. Outside with a fastball, 1-1. Israel Enriquez, the cleanup hitter, will be on deck. Michael Della Torre on the mound today, getting the start for the Hawthorne Cougars. This is 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, as that one's off the plate. Jeff Hines leading Hawthorne in with a preseason record of 1 win and 2 losses in the preseason. Hawthorne Cougars involved in the Redondo Beach tournament, but they played Milliken over the weekend. He offers and misses that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Competition in the Ocean League is not quite as tough as it is when you play against teams like Milliken that are one of the better teams in the state. Hawthorne not faring too well against Milliken. 2-2 pitch to the right side, and it's fouled out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So they're happy to open up play here today where the competition is more on par with what they are used to. And it's not that the Hawthorne Cougars are necessarily a bad team, but you have to take a lot of things into consideration when you play teams like a Milliken that are one of the better teams in the state. 2-2 delivery, and he goes the other way, fouls it off again. This is a nice field that we have a chance to work at today, and I'm going to say one of the better press box facilities that we've ever had the pleasure of working with. It's a great afternoon. A little windy here in Hawthorne today, and if we can pick up a flag or a blade of grass or something out there, we'll let you know where it's blowing to. He fouls this one to the right side again, so it holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This field here at Hawthorne adjacent to their football field, where you've seen some of our Channel 22 Hawthorne Cougar football telecasts through the years. Della Torre to Mercado, and it's in there for call strike 3, catches him looking. So good inning of work here for starting pitcher Della Torre. And it's 3 up, 3 down, the middle of 1 full inning of play. Inglewood nothing, Hawthorne coming to bat. We're back with the bottom half of the first right after this.
For the Hawthorne Cougars is the shortstop, number 4, Eddie Arcenegia.
Eddie Arcenegia, shortstop, will lead it off for Hawthorne. Right-hand batter, he'll be facing Jesus Chavez for the Inglewood Sentinels.
And in the hole, the center fielder, Gil De Real.
Eddie Arcenegia, Angel Lopez, and Gil De Real, first 3 batters. We'll get the full lineup for you as they face Chavez, and he misses low. Actually, it's in on the outside corner for a call strike, 0-1. Kevin Boyle will be hitting in the cleanup position. Ricky Barba hitting fifth at third base. Dewan Cato batting sixth in right field. That's low, 1-1. Anthony Caro hitting in the seventh position. He'll be catching. Tommy Salvatierra is the designated hitter, and Jaime Jimenez is batting ninth in the order. That's lined toward right field. It's going to be in there for the first base hit of the day. And if they don't get to it, he may get extra bases. On his way to second, and he's going to be able to slide in with a leadoff double toward the gap in right center field. So Eddie Arciniega leading off things well for the Hawthorne Cougars here in their first home game. Gets a double to the opposite field, taking Chavez that way. When you take a look at the Inglewood Sentinels, their manager Larry McKenty says they have pitching by committee. We're going to take a look at this hit here and see. He just goes with the low and outside pitch, and they're not able to get to it in time. Actually kind of overruns it in right field, and that allows him to get that extra base. If Panulis, the right fielder, feels that cleanly, he may not get two, but we'll give him a double all the way. As the first pitch here to Lopez, left-hand batter, is outside, 1-0. Defensively, Israel Enriquez is the first baseman. Javier Cabrera is the second baseman for Inglewood. Oscar Mercado at short. Gilbert Flores is at third. Little play on. They got some room there, and he's able to get back in. Second baseman Cabada taking that throw, and Arciniega able to get back in. Eddie Arciniega, we are told, is a correct pronunciation. So we'll make sure we get that right the rest of the afternoon. It bounces low, and the count is going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Waiting on deck, Gil de Real. Angel Lopez, one of the speed batters up there at the top of the order, and actually you want to get a lefty, someone who can hit behind the runner, so the object here will be to hit that ball to the right side. That's in for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Looking at the outfield for Inglewood, Giovanni Torres is in left, Pablo Calula is in center, and Pedro Panulis is in right. Catcher Fernando Villasenor. That's in for a strike at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned for Inglewood the pitching by committee. Their coach doesn't feel they have anyone who is a bona fide ace, so to speak. They just kind of go with whoever has the more lively arm on this particular occasion. There's Hines on the third base coaching box. The ball foul toward his area. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both of these teams coming in at 1-2 in the preseason. Payoff pitch. That's to the right side. It'll get the runner over, and it'll be a foot race to the bag, and Enriquez will win the foot race. That'll move Arciniega over to third base, where he is in easy scoring position with 1 man away. It's a good piece of hitting there by Lopez, managing to do what he had to do, get that runner over. And this will bring up Gil de Real.
Number 24, Gil Del Real.
Gil Del Real is the center fielder. And it's inside, almost hits him. 1 ball and no strikes. De Real is a senior, and they're expecting leadership from him this year. Hawthorne lineup, not too many seniors, but they lost a couple of key players off of last year's squad that came in second in league. That's outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Kevin Boyle, the cleanup hitter, is on deck for the Hawthorne Cougars. It's a 2-0 pitch. Way outside. So Chavez having problems finding the plate on the number 3 hitter, Del Real. And of course you don't want to give him anything too good right here. But you got to be concerned about that man on deck, that cleanup hitter. Nowhere near, and it's going to be a free pass for Del Real. First and third for the Hawthorne Cougars in the bottom of the first inning. And cleanup hitter Kevin Boyle trots to the plate.
Spot for the Hawthorne Cougars, number 33, the first baseman,
Kevin Boyle plays first base. And they're expecting big things from his bat this year.
Kevin Boyle, a senior, number 33, is at bat.
He, of course, is a senior, so one of those seniors that they are expecting some sort of leadership from. And he's in a good hitting position right here, first and third. They get something good to hit. That one is low, so it's been 5 out of the strike zone now for Jesus Chavez. Of course, the last thing Inglewood manager McGinty wants to see happen is his starting pitcher lose it very early. I hope he will settle down, runner with the lead off of first, and they just throw to let him know that they're paying attention to him. Gil Del Real is the runner at first. Eddie Arseneniaga is the runner at third. He doubled and moved over on the ground out. And that one is in there for a call strike. Took a little something off and gets that one over. It's 1-1. Ricky Barba, hitting fifth in the order for Hawthorne, is on deck. That's outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So now a good hit and run sort of count. But with Chavez not being around that plate, you run the risk of a swing and a miss and maybe getting a runner caught up. But it's a 2-1. Runner doesn't go. That one's grounded to short. They could get 2. They're going to get 1 there. And they will not get 2 as it's dropped at first base and a run will score. So you cannot assume a double play. That'll be a fielder's choice and a run batted in. And Hawthorne leads by a score of 1-0. So Boyle reaches on the fielder's choice. He gets the RBI. Arseneniaga comes in to score. Del Real is erased. Looked like they could have gotten 2 there. It was sort of tailor-made for it, but the throw not the best of throws. And this brings up Ricky Barba. Watches up high for ball 1, 1-0. So you take them any way you can. In the last ball game this weekend against Milliken, Hawthorne had a 1-0 lead early. That lead held up till about the 3rd inning. And Milliken took batting practice. It's in for a call strike, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now batting for Hawthorne,
Dewan Cato is on deck for Hawthorne. Barba's the third baseman. Next pitch by Chavez. It's outside, 2-1. Well, on the 2-1 pitch to Kevin Boyle, threw a good one, got him to bounce it to short. And if not for not the best of throws by second base, they may have gotten out of that inning. As it is, 2 outs, runner on first. 2-1 pitch. And it gets the outside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Much to the disagreement of Ricky Barba. Ricky Barba's a junior. Chavez trying to close things out here. Low and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full, and that means Boyle down at first will be off and running. 2 men out. Bottom half of the first inning. Here's the payoff pitch by Chavez. Grounded toward third. And they'll go the easy way. And that'll retire the side. They get a run on a hit. No errors, 1 left. The end of 1 inning. Hawthorne 1, Inglewood 0. Back with a second in a moment. Israel Enriquez will lead it off for Inglewood. And he watches in there for a call strike from Michael De La Torre. Enriquez, if you can believe it, well, you can believe he's a power hitter looking at his build and physique, but he hit .630 last year in 1999. And hitting like that, you can see how. That's headed toward the gap. He should have extra bases. Looks like an easy stand-up double. And Enriquez showing why he hit .630 last year. Powers that one toward the gap. And he leads off the top half of the second with a double for Inglewood. So they went in order in the bottom half of the first. Michael De La Torre setting them down, but he's facing the meat of the order, so to speak. Gilbert Flores batting 5th in the order. Flores is the third baseman today, and he hit over 400 last year at 445. So Michael Delatorre has some work to do this inning to get through this part of the order. And that misses high for a ball. For the most part, although it is very early, he has been getting ahead of the hitters. Of course, he got ahead of Enriquez, and Enriquez saw something he liked. Next pitch, he doesn't offer, and it's outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Giovanni Torres, hitting 6 in the order for Inglewood, is on deck. This is a 2-0 pitch coming up here. And that's in for the strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. About Flores, he was first team All-League in 1999, and he another one of those sentinels with good power. 2-1, back toward the middle. They may get him at first. No, they won't be able to get him. They'll cut it off, and that'll be a base hit. Shortstop Arciniega cutting it off, but he keeps it from going through, which temporarily saves a run from scoring. But it's going to be first and third. Nobody out. Inglewood in business here in the top half of the second inning. Giovanni Torres will be the batter.
Coming to bat for Inglewood is number 5, the left fielder.
Torres is the left fielder.
Is on the corner and no outs here in the top of the second.
Torres, a junior. He's got 1 home run already in the 2000 campaign. So Delatorre would probably be happy to come out of this inning with just a tie score. You want to prevent the big inning. Infield will play a double play depth. And he's in for a call strike on pitch number 1, 0-1. Look at Giovanni Torres. Torres is a transfer from Westchester High. Swung on and missed. Swings right through that high fastball, 0-2. Fernando Villasenor, hitting 7th in the order for Inglewood, is on deck. Enriquez, a runner at third, he doubled. Flores at first, he had an infield hit. And that'll chase Flores back to first base. With Torres in the batter's box. Got the count 0-2. Delatorre's pitch to the right side, not a play. Over on to the track and field part of this complex. Play up toward the other end. There's a girls' softball game going on. Way out there behind the left center field fence. Out here off of El Segundo in the city of Hawthorne. Delatorre 0-2. Down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit. Good piece of hitting. It'll be runners on the corners, first and third, as it's cut off by Cato. Cato with a nice one-hand retrieval of that ball to keep it from getting by him. If it gets by him, another run will score, and he may get a triple out of it. But it's going to be a well-hit line drive base hit down the right field line. The score is tied at 1-1, and Inglewood goes first and third. Still nobody out. So 0-2 pitch. Good piece of hitting. Went with the outside pitch, didn't try to pull it. And you're going to see Cato makes a nice play there. If he doesn't make that play, that ball goes back to the wall, and you're looking at easily another run and maybe a triple. But as it is, still nobody out. First and third. Fernando Villasenor is the batter, hitting 7th in the order. And Delatorre has got to bear down. He'll go to first here to keep the runner back. Villasenor, we mentioned, hitting 7th in the order. He's a senior. He's already got 1 home run this year as he watches outside 1-0. He another one of those good hitters that hit over 400 last year. And as a senior, he's already received a scholarship to Irvine. This one hit to the right side. It should score the run, if not do more. And that's going to be off the wall. 1 run is in. It's going to be runners at first and third on a long single and a run batted in for Villasenor. So a long single to the opposite field. It gets Flores home. And again, they first and third him as Torres goes to third. It's 2-1 in favor of the Inglewood Sentinels with still nobody out here in the top half of the second inning. So 4 hits in a row, and they have all been hit well, with the exception of the infield hit, the infield grounder by Gilbert Flores that might have had a chance to throw the runner out. But one pulled up the gap by Enriquez, and the good opposite field 2-strike hit by Torres, and this one by Villasenor going the opposite way. And they're threatening to do more damage with still no one out here in the second inning. Batting 8th in the order for Inglewood, Pablo Kalula. He's a center fielder. And runners at the corners. And the first pitch to him just misses inside, 1-0. Kalula played JV ball for Inglewood last year. And it gets the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. They say he is better as a defensive player as opposed to a batter at this point. Villasenor getting back in. And you'd have to see what kind of speed Villasenor has. Inglewood has certainly put the ball in play this inning. Runner with a short lead. And it gets the inside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, again, De La Torre has got 2 strikes on the batter. He had 2 strikes on Torres when he got the opposite field base hit. Let's see what he's able to do with Kalula as he'll lay off the outside and high pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck, 9th man in the order, Pedro Panulas. This will be a 2-2 pitch to Kalula. And back to first easily, Villasenor. Infield playing for 2 at second and short. Somewhat halfway at third, and it's outside, so the count's full at 3-2. Now with nobody out, let's keep an eye on the runner at first base, Fernando Villasenor. Do they put something on here with no outs? 9th man in the order is an ex-scheduled hitter. Nothing on as De La Torre fakes. Kevin Boyle, first baseman, holding Villasenor on. Runner doesn't go. 3-2 is inside, and they are juiced. Bases are loaded with nobody out. So 5 men up. None have been retired. Torres at runner at third. Villasenor runner at second. Kalula runner at first base. And 9th man in the order, Pedro Panulas, will be the hitter. Jeff Hines, number 25, manager of the Hawthorne Cougars, out on the mound. As you saw, a starting pitcher, De La Torre, get out of the first inning, 1-2-3. But this inning, there have been 3 hard hits, 1 seeing eye hit toward the middle, and a walk. And the frustrating thing is 2 of the runners that he's allowed on base have come with 2 outs, with 2 strikes rather, giving up the base hit and the walk, being ahead at 0-2 and 1-2. So that really frustrates things and runs your pitch count up. Here's Panulas batting left in the order. He's a 9th man, and he watches outside for ball 1. Panulas played JV last year, used as a utility infielder. He's a junior. And it's in for a call strike. He spots the outside corner, 1-1. This inning started with Israel Enriquez just lacing a double up the gap in left center field. He was brought home on an infield hit by, this one is low and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Gilbert Flores rather got an infield hit. Torres got a hit to the opposite field. Was played nicely by Dewan Cato. Villasenor singled to the opposite field, and Kalula walked. It's 2-1. Inglewood threatening to do big damage. 2 balls and 1 strike, way outside. De La Torre having problems now finding that plate. Nobody out. Plate bases loaded for the Inglewood Sentinels. Got 2 runs in already. Now De La Torre must throw a strike, and the batter knows that. He is close, but no cigar, and that's Run batted in on the base on balls, and it's 3-1 in favor of Inglewood. Torres trots in to score. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And Inglewood will go back to the top of the order.
Walk for Inglewood. Torres scores the third run of the inning, bringing the top of the lineup.
Jesus Chavez will be the batter.
Chavez, the pitcher for Inglewood, is now at the plate.
Chavez batting first in the order. He's the starting pitcher. Bases still loaded. Chavez grounded to third his first time up. Inglewood in need, or Hawthorne in need of a double play. That's in there for a call strike. Chavez can play center field, and as you can see, he also pitches. He has that good combination of speed and power. Where's number 24? That's in for a call strike 2, 0-2. Number 24, Ricky Henderson, Willie Mays' number. So that's an honorable number to wear. He's down 0-2 here. De La Torre looking for the first out. That's grounded toward the hole. They'll cut it off. They'll try to get one at second, and they will not get it as the ball's dropped. And another run will score. So again, a nice play at short by Arciniega to cut that off. And he had to make a nice, he made a good throw to second, but they're not able to handle it. And I guess I'd have to give that a fielder's choice and an RBI. I was just told that I was very generous for scoring it that way, but well, we're gonna go with the official score. The official score says E4. That's what we'll make it. So E4, bases are still loaded. Another run in. So no RBI. That'll be a fielder's choice and an error. Well, you could give him an RBI and a fielder's choice, but the error allows the runner to be safe at second, so they're still loaded. And that's foul back, 0-1. Javier Cabada. He was up one time in line to center field. 4 runs in, still nobody out. Bases still loaded.
Is Javier Cabada, second baseman.
That's to left field, and that's going to hook and go foul and out of play. Count is 1-1. Well, I guess the most frustrating thing from Hawthorne's point of view is the fact that De La Torre has been ahead of a couple of hitters, at least 2 batters, and failed to get them. Then, of course, you have the ball hit up the middle where they're not able to make the play, and the nice play at short where they don't make the play at second. That's towards center field. It could drop, and it will. 1 run will score, but they're going to get somebody forced. Perhaps, no, they won't. Thought they were going to throw that ball to third, but runner had to hold up to see if it was going to be caught. Runner at third had to hold up. It just dropped in front of center fielder Del Real, so that becomes a hit and an RBI. The runner at third base's vantage point was a little different from ours. I mean, we could kind of see that thing was going to drop all the way. He obviously couldn't, and his coach told him to hold up. So with him holding up, they did get a chance to make a play at the plate. But they're not able to get it, and it's a run batted in. Bases are still loaded, 5-1 in favor of Inglewood. And Oscar Mercado will come up. So Jeff Hines back out to the mound. He's got nobody warming up. At least, well, yes, they do. They do have something going in the bullpen on the right side. And they're going to need to go there pretty soon at the rate things are going. Oscar Mercado got called looking his first time up. He's a shortstop. Bases remain loaded for Inglewood. Still no one out. That's in for a call strike. Now 3 balls hit hard. 1 drop in front of a center fielder and a couple hit on the ground that were hit into the right places. That's fouled out of play to the right side, 0-2. Oscar Mercado, shortstop. He's capable of hitting 3rd or 5th in the lineup, they feel. He's got good power and an excellent glove. They think he's going to be an all-leaguer this year. 0-2 pitch. That's fouled off. Stays 0-2. This inning started with Israel Enriquez doubling up the gap. Gilbert Flores got a base hit, making it 1st and 3rd. Giovanni Torres singled, driving Enriquez. Fernando Villasenior singled to drive in Flores. Pablo Colula walked to load the bases. Then it was a walk and an RBI. Fielder's choice and an error, single and an RBI, and lo and behold, 5 runs, still no one out. 0-2 pitch. And it hits him, so it can't get any uglier than it is right now. Hit by the pitch, and that'll be a run batted in. Another run scores, and it's 6-1 in favor of Inglewood. So things have completely gotten away from Hawthorne pitcher Michael De La Torre in this inning. 6 runs in, still no one out. Jeff Hines is going to be on his way to the mound. He is going to have to make a change right about here. With the man who started it off, Israel Enriquez, coming to the plate. So there will be a new pitcher coming into the ball game for Hawthorne. So we will get the change for you. We'll tell you that here in the top half of the second inning, it is Inglewood 6, Hawthorne 1. I'm going to take a look at the hit batsman. We'll see the spot. We'll hit right near the hip. And that's got to hurt somewhat. So Michael De La Torre is going to stay on the mound. We'll get the changes for you in a second. That's low for a ball, 1-0. Enriquez started us off with a double. Herbert Hernandez is a new player in the game. That's inside. So De La Torre will stay in, and Hernandez will play left field for Hawthorne. I guess he's replacing Angel Lopez. Angel Lopez comes out to warm up. Up high, 3-0. So De La Torre having to stay out there, not doing much better. Still no one out. And this one of those long innings. That's a strike, 3-1. This inning has been about 15 minutes. You know, at the rate things are going, and from Hawthorne's point of view, you would hate to say this, but there was a mercy rule which was in effect on Saturday when they played against Milliken on Saturday down at Milliken. Hawthorne had a 1-0 lead. Milliken opened up for 10 runs in the third inning. That game wound up only going 5 innings. And at one point, it simply looked like Milliken was taking batting practice. I mean, they weren't clobbering the ball. They were just hitting it down the line, hitting it where it was pitched. And it's ball 4. They'll walk in another run. So it's going to be 7-1. Chavez will come in to score. Cabada will move up. Mercado will go down to third. And Gilbert Flores will be coming to bat. And now I believe they will make the pitching change. So the pitching change is going to go into effect.
Top of the second, coming in to pitch, number 15, the lefty, Angel Lopez.
Angel Lopez is going to come in. He started in left field, but he will now pitch. And that means that probably Hawthorne will lose their designated hitter. So Lopez will come in. He is the lefty. Started here in left field. And Herbert Hernandez will now play left field. So that means that more than likely the designated hitter will have to come out. Tommy Salvatierra will get that if we ever do get down to that part of the lineup for Hawthorne.
He's moving over there to left field. And Angel Lopez is on the mound.
And now as we take a look officially at the replacements, Lopez is on the mound.
So here with 1.5
And De La Torre will go to left field.
bases
And Hernandez, who was in left field briefly,
Score is Hawthorne 1,
will be coming
Inglewood
out.
7.
But the big thing is, will Hawthorne be able to get anyone out this inning? There are already 7 runs in, nobody out. The 11th man is coming to the plate in the form of Gilbert Flores. He had a single his first time up. And this one of those rough innings. Nightmare of an inning. I guess the only bit of good news from the Hawthorne point of view is the fact that the opposing pitcher, Jesus Chavez, has had to run the bases, and see how he will be able to, being on the bench or being off the mound for about a good 15 minutes, how he'll react when it's his time to go back out. Will Hawthorne have a chance to perhaps do a little bit of damage when they get the opportunity? But right here, they have got to get someone out in the top of the second as Flores comes up for the second time in the inning. He had a base hit his first time up, scored a run. Bases are loaded. And here's the first pitch. That's outside. 1-0. Lopez, the new pitcher. Angel Lopez. He's a sophomore. Next pitch here. And it's in for the call strike as Flores holds up 1-1. Gilbert Flores hit .445 last year. And he could be a first-team All-League player for Inglewood. Upstairs, 2-1. When you talk to Inglewood coach Larry McKenty, asked him how he does against Hawthorne usually. His remarks were, and I quote, "We usually own them." Well, it's looking that way so far. That's lined toward right field. And that'll be one man away, but a run will score. And a base runner will move up from second to third. It'll be a sacrifice fly and a run batted in for Flores. And it's now 8-1. So the runners move up. Cabada comes in to score. Mercado moves to third. Enriquez stays at first. And Hawthorne finally does get a put out. One man away, Giovanni Torres will be up for the second time in the inning. He was up one time and had a base hit to right field, and it came on 2 strikes, which was all the more frustrating. That's outside, 1-0. 8 runs in this inning. And if you can remember, that far back, Hawthorne actually had a 1-0 lead. 2 balls and no strikes. Let's look at Torres. We mentioned transfer from Westchester High. Take something off of that one. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Now we had a game here last week with the Hawthorne girls softball. And so far the Hawthorne girls softball team did a little better. That's grounded toward third. They're going to go to second for 1. They'll try for 2, and they will not get it. As I say, the throw is low, and that'll score another run. So they get the force out at second, but the run comes home from third as they're not able to complete it at first, and it'll be a fielder's choice and an RBI. And it's a 9-1 ball game. 9 runs in, all in this inning. So Fernando Villasenor will be the batter, batting second time in the inning. He had a base hit and a run batted in. His first time up. He's the 13th man to bat here in the second inning. Games like this can wreak havoc on your scorecard. If you're scoring at home, got to start making new lines and doing all kinds of things. That's lined toward the middle, and that's one of the hardest hits in this inning, believe it or not. right back through the box. And he's got his second hit of the inning, 2 for 2 on the day. And it continues. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. And Pablo Kalula will be the batter.
The center fielder, number 10, Pablo Kalula.
Pablo Kalula's been up one time,
Walked the last
had a
time
walk,
down.
and he also scored a run.
Second and 2 outs here.
9-1 in favor of Inglewood. We are just in the top of the second. All 9 runs in this inning. Lopez to Kalula on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Lopez coming in relief of Michael De La Torre. Michael De La Torre goes to the outfield. They want to keep his bat in the lineup. That's grounded foul. Well, not the sort of afternoon that Jeff Hines envisioned for our first baseball telecast of the year from the Hawthorne point of view. Of course, we'll be doing Hawthorne and losing our baseball this year, a couple of games. And here's the pitch toward the right side. That should retire the side. Pitcher will have to cover, and he does get there in time, so the out goes 4-1. And we are not in the Bronx, but if we were in the Bronx, you might expect a Bronx cheer at about this point for the Hawthorne Cougars. The side is finally retired, but not before 9 runs came across the plate for Inglewood on 2 errors, many hits. We're going to take a look at the last out as Jimenez fielded the ball and Lopez had to cover. This is what you call your basic spring training play. Now, you've seen many times through the years where the pitcher becomes a spectator, doesn't get on the mound, and we'd still be playing if that were the case. But nevertheless, the side is retired, and 9 runs come in. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Inglewood 9, Hawthorne 1. Dewan Cato will lead off the bottom of the second for Hawthorne. Line through the middle for a base hit. So Cato goes after the first pitch. And after 9 runs were scored in the top of the inning, who knows what could happen. Jesus Chavez, the beneficiary of the 9 runs, he's got an 8-run lead. But of course, he had to run the bases. And he had been off the mound for almost 25 minutes. So we'll see how he adjusts to being back on top of the hill as Anthony Caro will be the batter, hitting 7th in the order. He watches low, that ball gets away. And Cato's going to move up. That'll be a pass ball. As Cato goes down to second, and of course, with an 8-run lead, you're not going to be too overly concerned. From Inglewood's point of view, they'd want to get the sure out at first base. Hawthorne, of course, down by 8 miles. Don't want to give any ground. That's outside. Don't want to lose a base runner. 2 balls and no strikes is the count right now to Anthony Caro. Anthony Caro, starting catcher. He's a junior for Hawthorne. Tommy Salvatierri is on deck. And that's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Hawthorne trying to light a fire. And not that quickly. It'll be 3 balls and 1 strike. Wind is dying down before this ball game. About 15 minutes before the game, it was rather windy out here. 3-1. That'll be fouled off. Looked like it got fouled off the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And one of those long innings for Hawthorne, the top of the inning. Inglewood had 9 runs on 6 hits. A couple of close plays that were not made. 3-2 pitch. He stays alive. So Anthony Caro. Going to take a look at Cato banging this ball back through the middle. And you could hear the crack of that aluminum just over the shoulder. Payoff pitch. That misses low, ball 4. Just missed. So Hawthorne manages to get their first 2 runners on here in the bottom half of the second inning. And Tommy Salvatierra. Salvatierra is a designated hitter. He's a sophomore. And right here from Hawthorne's perspective, they are looking for base runners. Inglewood just looking for a sure out. They'd like to get 2, but they'll take any. Get foul out of play toward the right side. Take a look. We are here on the campus of Hawthorne High School. Mighty big campus and some good athletic facilities as you look at Jesus Chavez of Inglewood. They've got a pretty good facility up there at Inglewood. Play on at second. It's going to be close, but he's back in. So when you trail 9-1, you do not want to get picked off at second. 9-1 is our score. If you're just joining us, we are in the bottom of the second. Of course, they play 7 innings in high school, but there is a mercy rule. Tries to offer, but it's in there for a strike. So it's 0-2. Jaime Jimenez, batting 9th in the order, is on deck. Inglewood send 14 men to the plate in their half of the second. It's outside 1-2. Came up with those 9 runs. Hawthorne, of course, got a run in the bottom of the first. They were leading 1-0. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Holds on to the ball there on the foul tip, and there's 1 man away. Salvatierra, the strikeout victim. First strikeout in the afternoon for Jesus Chavez. Salvatierra takes the seat. That'll be kind of tough when all you do is hit, you don't play the field, and that's his situation.
Second baseman, number 5, Jaime Jimenez.
Jaime Jimenez is the batter, 9th in the order. He's a junior. And he takes that one toward right field. Second baseman back in short right. Cabada will make the easy catch, and there's 2 away. So Cabada puts it away. Back to the top of the order for Hawthorne. Eddie Arciniega will be the batter. He led off the game for Hawthorne with a double and scored a run. It looked kind of impressive at the time. With 2 outs here, Hawthorne got their first 2 men on, not able to bring them home. Strikeout and a pop out. They'd like to at least get 1 out of this to stay alive. It's fouled back. Count is 1-1. Michael De La Torre started on the mound today for Hawthorne and got lit up in the second inning. That misses 2 balls and 1 strike. Arciniega, count in his favor. He hits that one toward right field. Right fielder Panula is going over, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. So they got the first 2 on, but not able to do anything after that. And at the end of 2, it's Inglewood 9, Hawthorne 1. We'll be back with the 3rd inning right after this.
With 1 hit and 2 runners left on base, Hawthorne scores none. At the end of 2 complete innings, the score is Inglewood.
Well, here on Channel 22 Sports, this is our second game of the week. We had a little volleyball yesterday. Next week is going to be a busy week. 2 volleyball games, a softball, and a baseball game. And we'll tell you about that busy schedule. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, it's Inglewood and Hawthorne going at it. Inglewood with the better of it right now. They're coming up in the top of the 3rd inning. 9th man in the order, Pedro Panulas, is the batter. He was up 1 time. Had a walk, which forced in a run, so he got an RBI and also scored a run. Facing Angel Lopez. Lopez came on to put out the fire in the 2nd inning. Lefty versus lefty. Who will win this duel? Back toward the middle. Shortstop has it. And that's 1 out. Arciniega with the throw. So back to the top of the order. Jesus Chavez, pitcher, will be the batter. Chavez has been up twice. And he's 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice, RBI, and scored a run. Pitching a pretty good ball game. Angel Lopez started in left field, being asked to do some long relief, to say the least, and that's 1-1 as he gets that one in there. And that second inning, which has turned out to be the killer inning so far this afternoon, Inglewood sent 14 batters to the plate. It's a long look for the signs from Caro. 2-1. Well, the new battery, it takes a little time to get used to things, but one thing you got to appreciate about players at the high school level, for the most part, they get it and throw it. That's towards second base. Jimenez will make it a 4-3 put out. On the major league level, they step out after every pitch, they step off the mound after every pitch, and you wonder why games take so long to complete. Well, adding second in the order, Javier Cabada. Jimenez with a little routine pickup there at second.
Javier Cabada, number 1.
Let's see things to their completion here as he went the other way. And Jimenez, that's what they tell you to do in the textbook. You get down. Got to bend that back. That's toward third and over the glove of Barba. Well, that's what you see, what you don't do. Not able to get behind that one. Tried to backhand, didn't put the body behind that ball the way Jimenez did on the last play. And that'll be a base hit. So Cabada is 2 for 3 now. Second hit on the day. He's also scored a run at an RBI. And Oscar Mercado is up for the third time. He's 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch and drove in a run and scored a run in that disastrous second inning. Cabada, the runner. They'll chase him back.
Now batting for Inglewood, the shortstop, Oscar Mercado.
Lopez delivery. Bounces low, and he'll get back in there. Caro showing that arm off. Try to make sure Cabada stays honest. And the runner goes, big jump. That throw is going to be high and into center field, and he'll take off for third. Maybe. And almost caught there on the throwback. Ball backed up in center field by Del Real very well. Was in there on the backup as the throw was high. So he'll get a stolen base. And somebody spared an error by the fact that Del Real did a good backup and kept him from taking another base. Count is 3-0, and that's in for a strike. Make it 3-1 to Mercado. There are 2 outs in the inning. Play at second. And they hit him in the back, but not able to get the tag down. Shortstop Arciniega taking that throw. And as Hawthorne tries to close it out, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is out full. Well, the count is actually 2-2. We get a correction on the count. That's foul tipped. So Mercado will stay alive. Inglewood Sentinels from up Manchester way. Have a pretty good baseball program from the looks of it. So their coach, Larry McEntee, saying that they owned Hawthorne. Well, we'll have to see how that holds. They'll play twice this year in league play. So they'll meet again. Oh, that's a big play on. They're going to have him caught. And a rundown now, being run toward third and finally tagged out. So Cabada caught off second base. And that out will retire the side. So a hit and nobody left. Middle of the third. Inglewood 9, Hawthorne 1.
2.5 inning, the score remains Sentinels 9, Cougars 1.
Yeah, they had him dead to right there, as you can see.
For those of you scoring in the stands
So it goes 1-4-6-5 on the scoring. And we'll be back with the bottom of the third. Angel Lopez will try to get something started for Hawthorne here in the bottom of the third. He watches strike one from Jesus Chavez. So far, Chavez has allowed 1 run on 2 hits through 2 innings. That's lined fair down the left field line, and he could have extra bases. Lopez rounding first on his way to second, and he'll pull in with a stand-up double, cued off the bat to the opposite field. So Angel Lopez with a double, third hit in the afternoon for Hawthorne as they try to get back into things here. They got the first 2 runners on in the second inning, but were not able to do anything. They have the heart of the order coming up here now. Gil Del Real batting third in the order. He's up 1 time and had a walk. And that's hit toward the right side. Right fielder Panulas will be there. No advancement, and there's 1 out. So Del Real not able to get around on that one. And there's a nice piece of hitting there right down the line. Put it in a perfect location.
Number 33, Kevin Boyle.
So Lopez remains at second, but there's 1 out. Kevin Boyle will be the batter. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time up, as they were not able to complete a double play, so he got credit for a run batted in. So he's 0 for 1. He's hitting 4th in the order. Pitched by Chavez. Gets the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's inside. It hits him. So Boyle is hit by the pitch. And, of course, leading by 8 runs. It's not what he wanted to do. And you don't really think it's retaliation for the fact that one of their batters was hit by a pitch. In that second inning, Oscar Mercado was hit by a pitch. He was hit a little harder. But here's Ricky Barba with 2 men on. That's back toward the mound. They'll go to second and get 1 there. And that's all they'll be able to get. So they take the out at second base. Lopez down to third. Boyle is erased 1-6. And that's going to bring Dewan Cato to bat. Runners at first and third, 2 out. Dewan Cato had a hard base hit his first time up. He made a nice defensive play in the second inning. Barehanded a ball on a base hit to keep it from going to the wall. Turned out to be kind of moot because they scored 9 runs anyway, but the play looked significant at the time had they been able to get out of the inning. Here's a pitch to Cato. 1-1. Actually 2-0. Second inning in a row, Hawthorne getting some people on, and they'd like to start pecking away when you trail by a big margin. Want to take a little at a time. Got to have something to show for it. That leans into the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Want to necessarily get them back all with 1 shot, but a little here, a little there, and by the late innings, you find yourself back in the game. And of course, if you can hold them on your end, it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Anthony Caro would be up next. It's a lot harder to do things with 2 outs, of course. Runners on first and third. The count is 3-1. And he misses that one, low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And see, Dewan Cato is aggressive at the plate. One of those guys doesn't, looks like he doesn't want the free pass. Reminds me of Bill Madlock with his build somewhat. Remember Bill Madlock from the 70s, played with the Pirates for many years. As Chavez chases the runners back. Lopez, the runner at third, he had a double. Barber, the runner at first, reached on the fielder's choice. Here's a payoff pitch, runner goes, and he holds up. It'll be a walk. So Cato holds up, getting the base on balls to load the bases. There are 2 men away for Anthony Caro.
Number 31, the catcher for Hawthorne Cougars, Anthony Caro.
Caro was up one time, had a walk, and
Walked the last
has a
time.
2-out opportunity right here. They tell you sometimes it hurts with 2 outs. Hawthorne would be looking for a big 2-out base hit right about here. And it's on the inside corner for a call strike. Chavez has not been overpowering. He's a location pitcher. That's outside, 1-1. As you see, he goes inside and out. Location, the name of his game. That's why he's versatile and can do a lot of pitching. 1-1 pitch, and that's going to be through the hole and into left field for a base hit. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score, and it is going to be runners on first and second, 9-3 in favor of Inglewood. So it's a base hit and 2 runs batted in for Caro. Gets the 2 RBIs.
So with runners on
And Hawthorne is able to draw a little bit closer.
designated hitter number 16.
First and second, 2 men out for Tommy Salvatierra. Well, we mentioned that Chavez going inside and out. That one he left over the plate a little bit and was hit well by Caro. And Tommy Salvatierra up for his second time. He's 0 for 1. Struck out swinging his first time up. That's outside. And we'll see where this ball is, right over the heart of the plate, as you can see. And on by into left field. That's fouled off. Well, we were watching a replay there. Runners on first and second. Dewan Cato on second. Anthony Caro at first. Tommy Salvatierra with a count 1-1. He is a designated hitter. Tries to go outside, and he does get the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They play 7 innings here in high school. Well, these runs are important. 1-2 pitch. And he gets that outside corner. Salvatierra, strikeout victim for the second time. This time he's caught looking. Hawthorne able to get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. The end of 3, Inglewood 9, Hawthorne 3. Back with the 4th right after this.
At the end of that, in the top of the 4th.
Well, there will be volleyball next week on Channel 22. Next Tuesday, Inglewood plays at Hawthorne, and Hawthorne plays at Loosinger. Boys volleyball next week right here on Channel 22. Oh, the top of the 4th here, Inglewood leading 9-3, and they send Oscar Mercado to lead off the 4th inning. He watches low for ball 1. Oscar Mercado, Israel Enriquez, and Gilbert Flores scheduled up for Inglewood, heart of the order. Mercado's 0 for 1, hit by a pitch. And that's a slow roller. They'll have to make the quick play, and they get him. It's a nice play by Barba. Mercado was at the plate in the 3rd inning when Javier Cabada was picked off for second place. So at 1 man away, Israel Enriquez will be the batter.
First baseman,
Israel Enriquez, power hitter, 4th in the order.
had a double and
The big junior had a big double to get, to get things started in the 2nd inning. For Inglewood, he's also scored a run and walked and had an RBI all in that 2nd inning. That's outside. Angel Lopez on the mound, number 15 there for Hawthorne. Starting his 2nd inning of work, he came on in that 2nd inning with nobody out. And that misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. This Inglewood team, a team that they do have some power hitters, 4 hitters hitting 400 or better. That's fouled off. Enriquez, one of those 630 hitters, 630 last year. He led the South Bay in hitting, and he was first team all-league. Led the South Bay in doubles last year, and as you saw by the double he had in this ball game to get it started for the Sentinels, he does have some power. 2-2, lays off outside, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. The big inning, the top of the 2nd for Inglewood. They got their 9 runs, 14 men to the plate. 3-1. Stays alive, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Israel Enriquez facing Angel Lopez. Angel Lopez started in left field today. Some of the crowd here today on this comfortable afternoon. Not comfortable for the Hawthorne Cougars at this point. This will be a payoff pitch. He steps out. Enriquez stepping out, now back in. Way outside. So Enriquez gets his second base on balls of the afternoon.
Israel Enriquez draws his second walk.
So Gilbert Flores will be the batter.
The third baseman
Been up
for
3
Inglewood.
times.
Flores.
1 for 1, had a sacrifice fly and an RBI, and a base hit and scored a run. We'll see what kind of power Enriquez has at first. He's a rather big player. Let's see if he can run. They could get 2 here if they hurry. They'll get 1 there, and not in time. As a good play by Enriquez to take the second baseman out there, to take Jimenez out at second base. It was hit on a bounce, so they kind of had to hurry. And Enriquez did his part, going in kind of hard there at second base. So Enriquez and Flores will exchange positions. Flores will be the base runner on at first. Giovanni Torres will be the batter
For the Sentinels,
for Inglewood.
Giovanni Torres.
He's been up twice, had a base hit, scored a run,
Been on base twice today.
and reached on a fielder's choice. It was 2 RBIs. First pitch by Lopez. That misses outside. Well, to this point, you'd have to say if it weren't for that disastrous second inning, and I mean it was a disaster from the Hawthorne point of view, this is a totally different ball game. Runner with the lead, and it's outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Throw down to first quickly, trying to catch Flores napping, but Flores back in easily. And only 1 stolen base in the ball game for Inglewood. Javier Cabada had it. Stole second, but was promptly picked off trying to steal third. That's lined toward the gap, and it could be extra bases all the way back toward the wall. They will throw it in, and they will keep the runner from scoring, but it's a good opposite field double for Giovanni Torres. Hits it toward the gap, and with Hawthorne hitting the cutoff man, they were able to keep the runner from scoring. So it comes with 2 outs.
With 2 outs.
It's all basically by courtesy of the walk. The walk came with 1 out,
7 hitter, Fernando.
but giving someone that free pass. I think it was Casey Stengel that said, "Oh, those bases on balls." I think he's not the only one to echo those sentiments. As Fernando Villasenor will be the batter. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles, run batted in, and also scored a run. First pitch to him, and he's fans at that. No balls and 1 strike. I'll get a little cooler a little later in the day now here in Hawthorne. And about another hour and a half, hour 15 minutes of sunlight, I would say. That's grounded foul 0-2, and no, there are no lights on the baseball field. They have them on the football field, which is adjacent to this, but not on the baseball field. So they would have to get this thing in before the sun does go down. Sun setting in the west. Angel Lopez is the batter. Runners on second and third. Torres reached by the double. That's hit toward right field. Cato has a beat, and he retires the side. So runners on second and third, they're not able to score. There's a hit and 2 left. Middle of the 4th. Inglewood 9, Hawthorne 3. Jaime Jimenez, 9th man of the order, will lead it off in the 4th inning. There you see inning number 2, the disastrous one so far from the Hawthorne point of view. And they're trying to punch and peck away. Jimenez has been up 1 time, popped to second base, leaving a runner in scoring position. And Chavez gets that one inside. 1-1. Jimenez is a junior playing second base. Chavez so far has allowed 4 hits and 2 runs, and he aims for the inside corner and he gets there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looking through the fence. The 1-2, and it's grounded towards second. Cabada makes it 1 out. So back to the top of the order. Eddie Arciniega will be the batter.
Coming to bat for the Cougars, number 4, Eddie Arciniega.
Arciniega is 1 for 2. He had a double and scored a run in the first, and fly to right field in the second inning. Arciniega is a sophomore. And the first pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. Next delivery by Chavez, that's towards second. And they test Cabada again. And he passes the first 2 tests. So with 2 men away, Angel Lopez will be the batter.
With 2 outs, coming to bat for the Cougars, number 15, the pitcher.
Lopez has been up twice. He's had a double and scored a run.
Angel had a double.
He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Started this game in left field, now is on the mound. Tries to bunt. That's going to die on the grass. Will have to make the play, and they do make it in time. So he had the right idea, doing it with 2 outs, however. And they go in order in the 4th. At the end of 4 full innings of play, Inglewood Sentinels 9, Hawthorne Cougars 3.
So at the end of 4 complete innings, the score.
9-3 favor of Inglewood. Starting the top of the 5th inning.
In the top of the 5th for Inglewood, leading off.
8, 9, and 1 will be up for the Sentinels. Pablo Kalula will lead it off. Been up twice, had a walk, and scored a run and grounded out second to pitcher covering. And first pitch by Lopez. So far, Lopez has not allowed any runs since coming in. Next pitch. And they check it at first, said he did not go around. So he's behind 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 delivery. That's way upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. Lopez has had fairly good control since he's been in the ball game. He did walk 1 batter, but it wound up not hurting him. And he walks a leadoff man here on 4 pitches. So Kalula, fast man on at first.
Back now, the number 9 batter.
Pedro Panulas will be the batter.
The right fielder.
He's 0 for 1, reached base on balls. Had credit for an RBI and wound up scoring a run. Lefty against lefty. Kalula the runner at first. Pitch to Panulas, bounces away, and he's on his way down to second. So I'd have to give that a pass ball. And Inglewood in business, keeping in mind that you have the mercy rule, and we are in the 5th inning. So if they get out in front by a number of runs here, Hawthorne will only have 1 more chance to bat in the bottom of the 5th. Misses low. Oh, it's 2 balls and no strikes to Pedro Panulas. It's nowhere. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, you're going to start to see some action now for Hawthorne. They're going to get some people scurrying around and toward the bullpen. That's in for a strike, so it's 3-1. Perhaps have to bring Tommy Salvatierre in the ball game to pitch. He's a designated hitter. He may have to come in and pitch. He's warming up in the Hawthorne bullpen. 3-1. That's chopped toward the middle. They'll get the runner at first as the runner will cross over. And there's one man away. So the high chopper. Runner electing to cross over. Arson Yeager making the throw.
Top of the lineup for the Sentinels
Kalula
with a runner on third.
is now on at third.
Jesus
So the pass ball could come into play here.
coming to the plate.
As if he's not able to get down to second on the pass ball, they probably get a force, if nothing else, down at second. And as it is now, they're going to have to bring the infield in with Jesus Chavez, the batter. Chavez chance to help himself right here, and he may just do that. That's dinked off the end of the bat. They're going to send the runner. Here's the throw. It is going to be in time, but it's not held at the plate. It was a good throw, but the catcher, Caro, not able to hold on to it. Ball got there in enough time to beat the runner, and it was an excellent throw by Cato. But it'll be a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. We'll see this one again.
Left field on the throw.
Just dinks it off the end of the bat, and Cato hadn't played well.
Kalula will score.
Now he gets sometimes you want to catch that up a little higher where you're in a better position to run. You see they let it go through. It's there in enough time, takes the bounce, and tough play. Tough play for Caro to have to deal with there.
The second baseman, Javier Cabana.
Javier Cabana is the batter right now. He's been up 3 times, had 2 hits, scored a run, had a stolen base. That's hit toward the left side. And that'll be put away for out number 3. De La Torre making the catch. So 1 run, no hits, a walk, sacrifice, and none left. Middle of the 5th, Inglewood 10, Hawthorne 3. Well, we're going to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Inglewood all over the scoreboard here today. And we have a new right fielder in the ball game. We'll get to you momentarily. But right here, as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Gil Del Real will lead it off. Del Real 0 for 1 and a walk today. And that's grounded toward short. Mercado will have it. 1 out. So for the most part, Jesus Chavez has been able to handle hitters 3, 4, and 5 today. As you take a look at hitters 3, 4, and 5, Gil Del Real, Kevin Boyle, and Ricky Barber, who are scheduled up before this inning, none of them had a hit. They've had between the 3 of them 1 walk and 1 hit batsman. And here's Boyle. Boyle was the man who was hit by that pitch. He would have been erased on a double play in the 1st inning, but got credit for an RBI and a fielder's choice. That's 1-1. And of course, that's effective when you can keep the meat of the order from doing much damage. You know you're pretty much going to be effective. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Jesus Chavez all the way this afternoon for Inglewood. And let's see if he'll come inside with this pitch. Yes, he does, and it's popped up. Left field. Torres. Actually, Kalula with the ball. So Kalula had it. I didn't. Looked like it was going to left field from where I sit. And fortunately for Inglewood, Pablo Kalula saw that one better than we did here in the press box. Well, when you're in the last row at Dodger Stadium, you have an excuse for missing those, but we got a pretty good vantage point. Ricky Barber, the batter. Barber grounds it into the hole, and that'll be a base hit. So of hitters 3, 4, and 5, he's the first one to get a base hit on the afternoon. Before that, he was 0 for 2 and scored a run, reaching on a fielder's choice. We're starting to say when you sit in Dodger Stadium, way up in deck number 3, well, you're actually a little closer than you are in Staples Center, come to think of it, but that's another story. Dewan Cato is the batter. Cato had a base hit his first time up and a walk, been on base twice. There's the base hit off the bat of Barba. It's right by the third baseman. That's chopped toward third, and that's going to be a nice backhand play. Can he get him in time? He comes down on the bag, and he got him. Well, a good play made at both ends. Good play by Flores to stay with it. And when you have a tall first baseman in Enriquez, got that throw, came down on the bag, and of course with Cato not being extremely fleet of foot, play was not quite that tough, and that's why they stayed with it and made the play. So a hit and one left through 5 innings. It is Inglewood 10, Hawthorne 3.
Hey, Larry, you got 0 now.
Well, next week on Channel 22, the Lusinger Olympians will get a crack at it on the baseball diamond. They'll take on Sentinel next Friday, the 31st. Lusinger Olympians against Sentinel. And next Wednesday, the Hawthorne Lady Cougars will take on Beverly Hills Lady Normans. So softball and baseball next week on Channel 22, Wednesday the 29th. Beverly Hills and the Hawthorne Lady Cougars, and next Friday the 31st, Sentinel at Lusinger. This afternoon, the Hawthorne Cougars and Inglewood Sentinels at it. And as we go to the 6th inning, top of the 6th, Inglewood having an enjoyable afternoon, that big 9-run second inning being the key at this point. And Oscar Mercado will be leading it off. He watches the floater up high for ball 1. Mercado is 0 for 2, but he was hit by a pitch and scored a run in that disastrous second inning for Hawthorne. That's popped to the right side and out of play. Here at Hawthorne High School this afternoon. And we're going to be here 4 more times before this Ocean League season is over. That floats up high 1-0. All in all, we have 6 more baseball telecasts. 4 of them will be here. 2 of them will be at Lusinger. And it's fouled out of play. We mentioned Sentinel at Lusinger, our next baseball game next week, Friday the 31st. Well, you'll be seeing these Hawthorne Cougars again on Wednesday, April 5th against Beverly Hills. And, of course, when they play against Lusinger, crosstown rivalry, we'll have that one. That's on May 9th. That one's hit toward the right side. The wind is carrying it over, and it's a foul ball. So the wind carries that one into foul territory as Cato gave it a chase.
That's not Cato. That's somebody else. It's number 8, right?
Well, we have a new right fielder. That's actually not Cato in right field.
Who's in right field?
As we're going to get that checked out for you. We'll get the changes checked out for the Hawthorne Cougars. It is Ricardo Rodriguez. It's a new right fielder that's grounded to third, up and over the shoulder of third baseman Barba. And that'll be, well, we're going to see how we score. How are we going to score that one? Well, the official scorer didn't see it. How about that? So we'll have to tell the umpire to do that one over again. That hopped up the shoulder. He didn't get behind it. I'm going to give him a tough error. That's E5. He said I was being a little too generous with the scoring earlier, so going to have to get tougher. Enriquez is the batter. Israel Enriquez. Been on base 3 times. Got things started in the second inning with a big double to left center field, scored a run. Walked and had an RBI, and he also walked. Mercado reaching on the error here. That's bounced low. Enriquez is the sort of hitter you don't want to come in too much to his power, so going to kind of tend to pitch around him. When they came into him in the second inning, made them pay for it. Count is 1-0. Mercado back to first easily. We were telling you we have a new right fielder, Ricardo Rodriguez, for Hawthorne. He replaced Dewan Cato. That's outside. They're going to fake the throw. If you're wondering, Ricardo Rodriguez is a junior. As we get here toward the later innings of the ball game, all kinds of defensive strategy, defensive changes taking place. It's 3-0. From the looks of things, Angel Lopez does not want much with Israel Enriquez. He's 3-0, and well, if you're Larry McEntee, do you give him the green light if he gets a meatball? Well, that's not exactly a meatball. It's on the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. If Enriquez sees something he likes, he will be aiming for the boulevard. 3-1 pitch. And it's off the plate, so he'll get his 4th walk, make it his 3rd walk of the afternoon. So nobody out, 2 on here in the 6th inning. Gilbert Flores will be the batter. 0 for 2, had a single, scored a run, and had a sacrifice fly and an RBI. So batters 3, 4, and 5 for Inglewood have been a little more productive than 3, 4, and 5 for Hawthorne. It's been one of the keys this afternoon. It's in there for a call strike at the knees, 0-1. At least they've been on base more often. They've got 2 hits, a couple of RBIs. Next delivery, floats it up high, 1-1. Well, Tommy Salvatierra, the designated hitter for Hawthorne, was up and throwing in the last inning when Lopez ran into a little bit of trouble, but he was able to get out of it. That's popped in the air towards center field. Del Real should have it. Runner tags. Going to try to go to third, and as the throw is cut off, he will make it. So base runner Mercado moving up, second to third on the long out to center field. And a cutoff keeping Enriquez from getting down to second. It'll be runners on first and third, 1 man away. Giovanni Torres will be the hitter. Torres has been up 3 times today, had 2 hits, had a single and a double, and reached on a fielder's choice. 2 runs batted in.
Had a single and a double today and 2 RBIs with runners at the corner.
1 out for Torres. Play for 2 on the infield. And here's the first delivery. Gets the outside corner, 0-1. Well, this is one of the nicer, in terms of press accommodations, one of the nicer high school facilities you're ever going to see. Normally when you do games at this level, you can expect to be on the 4th level of the stands, of the bleachers, but not this afternoon. It's kind of nice here. Runner goes, and it's grounded back through the middle, and it's going to be in there for the base hit. So the ball hit right back through the middle for the base hit and a run batted in. Run comes home, and it's 11-3 in favor of Inglewood. As Mercado comes down the line to score, Enriquez moves up 90 feet. Still runners on first and second with 1 man out. So with the 11-3 score, Fernando Villasenor will be the batter. This ball just perfectly placed, hit hard. Second baseman Jimenez had a shot at it because the runner was going, so he was on his way to cover. So he had a little bit of a shot, but not able to get there or knock it down. Lays off, and they lose control of the ball. They may have a play at second. They're going to throw through to second. They get the runner there. As the ball got away from Caro, he lost it. He blocked it, but couldn't find it. The runner, Enriquez, moved up to third on the pass ball, but as Torres tries to go in behind, he's gunned down at second. So Inglewood loses a base runner. That's 2 men away. When you're up by 8 runs, well, of course, from a coaching point of view, you want to remind the base runner of what to do in that situation, but not that critical when you're up by 8 runs, and they do still have the runner down at third. And that's foul back. No balls and 2 strikes. As Carroll comes out, this is after he had found the ball. Of course, the tag is made rather easily, as Torres was basically a dead duck. And now at 0-2, Lopez would not like to lose the batter. It's fouled off. Villa Sr. has had 2 hits today, 2 singles and RBI, and scored a run, 2 for 3. The 0-2 almost hits him. Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I've got some Hawthorne Lady Cougars softball next week against Beverly Hills next Wednesday, the 29th. 1-2 to right field, and they will test Rodriguez. And he passed the midterm, and that retires the side. So a run on 1 hit, an error, and 1 left. Middle of the 6th, it is Inglewood 11, Hawthorne 3.
So at the end of 5.5 innings, it's the Sentinels 11, the Cougars 3. Okay.
Well, as it gets late afternoon here in Hawthorne, late on the innings tally for the Hawthorne Cougars, bottom of the 6th, trailing by 8. Jesus Chavez has been in there all the way. He'll face Anthony Caro. Caro quickly lines one into center field, and he's got his base hit. Second hit of the day for Caro. He's now 2 for 2. 2 RBIs and a walk. So Hawthorne trying to get something going. They'll go to the bat rack for pinch hitter right here. Mario Duran will be the batter.
Pinch batter, number 21, Mario Duran.
Mario Duran is a junior. He can play first base and bats left. He watches outside for a ball. So Duran will be in for Tommy Salvatierra, who started as designated hitter today. Now you begin thinking about getting a little lumber or aluminum. Well, no, they don't play with lumber anymore. They play with aluminum. This could be a double play. Go the easy way there, and it's a 6-6-3 unassisted double play. So that quickly they are erased. That one's tailor-made room service, whatever other cliche you want to use. Got a good room service hop for Mercado, and he's going to simply waltz this one to the bag. That's easy right here. Like it when it becomes that easy. Don't even have to flip it. And they quickly erase both of the base runners as Jaime Jimenez will be the batter. Jimenez 0 for 2 on the afternoon. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Chavez has done what you call scattering his hits. He's given up 5 hits. Tries to hold up, not able to. He goes around, and it's a swinging strike, 3rd strikeout for Jesus Chavez. So it's been a good game this afternoon for that man, Chavez. And at the end of 6 full innings of play, it's Inglewood 11, Hawthorne 3. Third pitcher on the afternoon to be used today by Hawthorne, George Martinez, number 6. He comes on for Angel Lopez, who pitched 5 innings, put out the fire that was started by Michael De La Torre. So all in all, a good afternoon for Lopez, coming in relief. And Pablo Kalula was scheduled to be the batter, but he has been called back for Inglewood. And Ricardo Hara will be the batter. Ricardo Hara, right-hand batter. He'll face Martinez, and it's in for a strike. Hara has brother Jaime Hara. He is the younger of the two. Ricardo is a junior. And it's outside by Martinez, 1-1. Hara and his brother Jaime play on the Inglewood Sentinel football team. Martinez looking in. And misses low, 2-1. Martinez looks like he has a live arm. He is a junior. He can also play third base and pitch. And that's hit to right field. Rodriguez gives it a chase, and there's one man away.
Ricardo Hara flies out to the right fielder, Roberto Rodriguez, for the first out.
So with one out, Panules is scheduled to be the batter, but he'll be replaced by Albert Carlos.
Coming to bat for the Sentinels is
Albert Carlos is the batter.
Number 13.
He came in to play right field last inning, placing Panules. He's a right-hand batter. First plate appearance, and he watches outside and low, 1-0. Panules had gone 0 for 2 in a walk, and a run batted in on the base on balls. That's inside, gets him off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. This Bay League game number 1 for both of these teams. Inglewood was not 1-3 in non-league. Hawthorne was 1-2. Both teams taking place in big tournaments. Hawthorne still involved in the Redondo tournament, which is ongoing. Right here it's 3-0 to Albert Carlos. And he's walked on 4 straight pitches. So Martinez in the ball game has a live arm for Hawthorne, but of course, when you throw hard, the question is always control. Control is the key. And Jesus Chavez gets a good hand from the Inglewood folks that have made it here today. He's had a fine pitching effort. Watches high for ball 1. He's 0 for 3, 2 RBIs, including a sacrifice fly. He's had a good game on the mound. Carlos, the runner at first. They'll try to keep him close. Runner doesn't go. This ball is popped into short center field. Second baseman Jimenez going back, and he puts it away for out number 2. So Jimenez with the catch. And this will bring up Javier Cabada.
Coming to bat for the Sentinels, the second baseman, Javier Cabada.
Cabada's been up 4 times, had 2 hits and an RBI. Scored a run and also stole a base. He's 2 for 4. Good afternoon. Heading towards sundown here in Hawthorne. It's about an hour away. That's in there for a call strike. And unless Hawthorne comes up with a lot of runs in the bottom half of the 7th inning, the sun will be setting for them fairly soon this afternoon. Runner gets back in. If you want to look ahead to the bottom half of the 7th, Hawthorne is scheduled to send up batters 2, 3, and 4. Angel Lopez, Gil Del Real, and Kevin Boyle. Or actually, they're going to send up 1, 2, and 3. So scratch that and make it Eddie Arciniega, Angel Lopez, and Gil Del Real. And they'll hope they get a lot more. It's Martinez to the plate. Runner doesn't go. Swing and a miss. And that'll retire the side. So good inning for Martinez. Just surrenders a base on balls but does not give up any runs. Records the strikeout. And the middle of the 7th, it's Inglewood 11, Hawthorne 3. Jesus Chavez trying to close it out for Inglewood. So far, he's allowed just 3 runs, and he's given up 6 hits. Has not allowed the big inning, and he's done well with batters 3, 4, and 5. Here he'll face the top of the order, Eddie Arciniega in the bottom of the 7th. Arciniega is 1 for 3 with a double, and he takes in for call strike 1. Hawthorne trailing 11-3 in this opening ball game of the Ocean League. Looking for a big rally. Outside 1-1. Chavez looking for the complete game. That's punched into short left field, and it's going to be in there for the base hit. So Arciniega starts off the 7th inning with the base hit for Hawthorne. And this will bring up George Martinez. George Martinez came in to pitch, and he's batting second in the order.
This will be his first at bat for Hawthorne Cougars.
And he has a live arm. We'll have to see what kind of bat he has. Arciniega with the lead off first, and he watches outside 1-0. Chavez not overpowering. He just simply takes it in and out on you. Excellent location, and he's used that well today. He'll probably come inside. Well, he stays down and low, but it's in there for a call strike, 0-2. Hawthorne crowd doesn't particularly care for that call from the home plate umpire. 0-2 pitch fouled off. So Martinez stays alive. If the game ends the way it is now, it will be the 2nd inning, which will have been the inning that did in the Hawthorne Cougars. Inglewood sent 14 batters to the plate and got 9 runs. A couple of hard hit balls, a couple of balls hit that could have been fielded that were not, and kind of kept the innings going. Couple of seeing eye hits, the kind of things that happen when you get those sort of big innings. Counts 1-2 to Martinez. They're not going to hold the runner on at first, and it's swung on and missed. He's out of there. So Martinez is a strikeout victim. That's the first out here in the 7th inning. Gil Del Real will be the batter. Gil Del Real is 0 for 2 and a walk. We mentioned batters 3, 4, and 5, not overly productive today for the Hawthorne Cougars. And the first pitch to Del Real is foul back. They've been to bat 9 times, and of the 9 at bats, 1 base hit, 1 walk and a hit batsman, and 1 RBI in the 9 at bats. Something to do with the offensive anemia this afternoon. That's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Also Jesus Chavez. His location has had something to do with it as well. Arciniega is the runner at first. They're not holding him on. And that's popped in the air towards center field. Coming in is Kalula. He's coming in on a run. Will he get there? Not able to. Not able to make the catch. Everybody's going to be safe. Kalula had a long run, and that'll be a bloop single into center field. Runners at first and second, 1 man out. So Kalula made a long run. And as it is, with the ball being popped in the air, Arciniega had to hold up at first. So he had to make sure he hustled down to second when that ball fell in. And this will bring Kevin Boyle to the plate. Kevin Boyle 0 for 2. Had an RBI in a fielder's choice and was hit by the pitch earlier. Kalula is going to give this one a long run. I'm going to take a look at that play. That's grounded foul at the plate. It was hit in the air. It stayed up there for a while. And he looks like he started back on it and then starts to come in, and he's going to make the dive off the glove. If he doesn't take that step back, he may get there. And, of course, we mentioned the base runner having to go part of the way, not wanting to get caught off. That one is popped, and there's going to be another tough play. Will he get there this time? This time he does get there on the dive. So Kalula, this time, with also a tough play, but he's able to get there on the dive, having to come in and go toward his right. And although he didn't get to the first play, you'd have to say all in all, good range out there in center field by Palula.
So with 2 outs and 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 7th, the Cougars
Kaluba,
bring to bat the third baseman.
they know, can cover a lot of ground out there. They say he's very steady and adequate. And as you can see, he has a lot of speed. So Ricky Barba represents the last hope for Hawthorne. 2 outs in the 7th. They're trailing by 8, and that's hit towards second base. Could end the ball game. They'll go the short way, and the ball game is over. So in the inning, nothing across, 2 hits and 2 left. And the final score, Inglewood 11, Hawthorne 3. Well, as the ball game ends, the big inning of this particular ball game will be inning number 2. For Hawthorne was leading by a score of 1-0 coming into the second inning, but the Inglewood Sentinels simply poured it on. They sent 14 men to the plate. They drove out Michael De La Torre, the starting pitcher for Hawthorne, and it turned out to be a big disaster as they got 9 runs on 6 hits. A couple of the balls were hit hard. A couple of them were hit toward fielders where they had the chance to make force plays or knock balls down, and they were just not able to get there. And if you throw out that big 9-run second inning, it's a lot closer contest, but the 9 runs do count. They bunched them at the right time, and Inglewood gets off and running as they start their Ocean League play. They're 1-0 in the Ocean League. Hawthorne 0-1. Hawthorne now drops to 1-3 overall. Inglewood is 2-3. As the ball game ends on the fielder's choice, on the ground out, Barba hitting it toward the middle, and Kabata making the play, going to Mercado. And the 4-6 put out ends the afternoon. So this ball game taking about 2 hours and 5 minutes to complete on this developingly cool afternoon. It started out windy, but kind of settled down, but not in time for the Hawthorne Cougars. So that's going to end this particular telecast. We remind you that we'll have more Hawthorne softball for you next Wednesday the 29th, Beverly Hills at Hawthorne. And the next time you will be seeing Hawthorne baseball will be on Wednesday, April the 5th against Beverly Hills. Our next ball game will be Inglewood and Hawthorne in volleyball on Tuesday the 28th. I'm Dave Marks. For everyone at Channel 22, Channel 22 Sports, and everyone here at Hawthorne, reminding you the final score, Inglewood 11, Hawthorne 3. And thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Have a good one, everyone.